In this video, we are going to upsize this 9-inch Benson into a life-size one with the new handheld scanner from Revopoint, the MIRACO 3D scanner, which is on Kickstarter now, link in the description below. And to help complete the ensemble, I got this life-size Ventriloquist door here that we are going to customize. In the past, I would use my Revopoint Mini to scan the small Benson for the head, then use the Revopoint range to scan the door and edit them on my computer with the RevoScan program. But now, you can do everything on the MIRACO. Revopoint jam-packed everything into this small little device which weighs only 750 grams, the world's lightest standalone scanner, with all the usual accessories like the bust, turntable, stand, wires, adapters, calibration board, and something new which is a little strap that you can use to secure the scanner so that it won't fall off when it slips off your palms. A very considerate inclusion, I would say. Most importantly, we are here for the scanner itself. You switch it on by holding the button on the side and you will be greeted by the logo. And then a familiar sight which is basically RevoScan. What I especially love is the 2K AMOLED screen which is as big as my S21 smartphone and is super responsive. It's just like using your phone. So right here, we are in near mode, which is just like using the Mini, and I will be using it to scan our small Benson. We can use the turntable and our stand to scan it, or we can hold it with our hands and adjust it while it turns to get a full scan. Make sure to maintain an excellent distance for optimal scanning. Once it's done, click the bottom right to access your latest scan project, and you can start meshing it. There is an option to do it automatically with the one-tap edit, or you can do it manually like in RevoScan with various options like isolation, overlap detection, and then move on to meshing at the highest quality. And this is what we have. Super simple, extremely convenient, everything done on this little device in a very short amount of time. I am so impressed. Next up, we are going to try the far mode, which is like using the range. You can hide the surfaces if you don't want to capture the table and adjust the scanning distance so that you don't capture anything behind your subject. The door is so flimsy it cannot stand up straight, so I'm going to scan just the upper body for sizing purposes. And the process is the same. Here's the scan results. It looks absolutely amazing, and the fact that it only took a few minutes on this handheld device is crazy. I also scanned the head and palm separately, and this is what the small figurine looks beside the life-size door. With this incredibly detailed scan, it is going to save me so much time and effort cause I didn't have to make it from scratch, especially when it's already so accurate. I can skip the sculpting and start separating the parts that I want to print separately, like the hair, eyebrows, eyes, and mouth. Of course, the toy is smaller and details are not as sharp, so we have to sharpen some details so that we can print it at a larger scale. With reference to the movie screenshots, I started to carve in the lines of the hair, which honestly isn't that important, so I just drew lines as I see fit, stroke by stroke, following the faint lines from the scan. And that is a few hours summarized into a few seconds. Story of my life. I spent the next few hours trying to figure out the mouth mechanism, and obviously I'm not going to learn how to make an actual ventriloquist door, so what I'm focusing on is how to move the mouth without the teeth clashing into each other. What I came up with is to make the upper row thinner and make the bottom gums wider to accommodate the upper teeth. And now the mouth should be able to move freely. The next moving part is the eyebrows. I started rotating it to see if it clashes into the head, then I moved it out a little by little so that they don't touch anymore. To attach the brows, I am going to use a simple cylinder at the back and drill through the head. For the eyes, I decided to follow the Takara Tomy Woody's eyes that we learned in our unboxing video, which is a half sphere attached into another sphere that allows it to move. And to secure it to the head, I extended 2 cylinders out and made a plate so that I can screw into it later on. And now it's time to scale the models. Surprisingly, Benson's head is a lot bigger than a regular ventriloquist doll head. Like, I scaled the toy up to the size of the doll's body, and his head is so huge. I stole the attachment from the head scan to make sure we can zip tie the printed head back on later, and the head is done. Now we can move on to the hands, which is unsurprisingly also larger. You know what they say, people with big hands have big heads. And it's a lot of pulling and tugging, moving the hands outwards to make it bigger, and once the size is right, I went in to add the nails and the wrinkles. Same for the shoes, I scanned the original shoe and his foot for size comparison and adjusted a 3D model of the dress shoes accordingly, and we are ready to print with our massive Sonic Mega 8K. And this time we are using a new color, the Aqua Snow Grey 8K resin from Phrozen. This color is similar to the grey primer that we used to spot flaws, so I'm curious to see if it really helps during post-processing. And after 13 hours, the printer has turned our digital files into physical objects. What a dream come true! You guys know I have always wanted to print big projects, and we can finally do that with the Mega 8K. They printed out so nicely and they lifted off the plate so easily. I'm really excited to paint them, but not before we dunk them into a bucket full of IPA to rinse off all the excess resin. Thankfully, I also have a Phrozen Mighty 8K and I used it to print the other accessories at the same time to be more efficient. And it printed really well because it is able to print at an even smaller resolution. Look at them. The grey is really good at showing flaws, and I'm already dying to sand them off, but before that, we need to remove the supports, like a lot of supports. As you can see, there's support residues here and we're gonna snip them off, and there's like steppings on certain curved surfaces, and sometimes there's layer lines like this, so it's important to sand them smooth before painting. Everything is smooth and I am happy. I would like to attach the mouth to the head with some magnets, so I'm going to drill a bigger hole to place them in. The mouth fits in pretty good, just a little bit loose, so I attached some elastics at the back to hold it in place more firmly. And while we are here, I want to show you this little misprint where one of the poles got messed up, which caused our eye mechanism to not fit well. So I had to think of a new way to deal with the eyes. It is called the Follow You eyes, made with glass cabochon and a printout of the eyes. Simply glue them onto the back of the glass, attach them to the face, and somehow it gives you an illusion
that the eyes are looking at you. So creepy.
Okay, it's kinda late now and I didn't feel like painting, so I started undressing our doll and removing the arms. I bought a suit with white lines that's meant for toddlers, and I think it fits pretty well. The pants has elastics which helps to secure the shirt in place. It's kinda baggy and we have to fold the sleeve shorter, but it's going to be covered by the blazer. Okay, are you ready? It's pretty good, right? We just need to make the bow tie smaller, fix the button, remove this badge and pockets, and it should be good enough. They're not that hard either. I loosened and adjusted the tie, cut the threads off the badge, and it's gone, just like that. And thankfully the pockets are fake, so I just had to remove the flap and nobody knows. Cut the tag off, and for the button I got a smaller cabochon glass of the same size and I will paint it black later to glue it on. Well, it's a brand new day and painting is pretty straightforward. Beige for the head and I applied some clear coat in between each layers. Same beige for the mouth but with the teeth masked off, and same for the palms. There's not much to see here. Brown for the hair and brows, but for the boots I used a spray can because my patience was running out. Black for the button as well, and we can start hand painting the details. For the blushes, I decided to use oil pastels because I think there's more control that way. The red on the cheeks worked well, but the lavender for the eye makeup didn't for some reason, and I had to use acrylic paints instead. For the lips, I used to blend colors to make it realistic, but Ventriloquist dolls paints are quite simple, just a really solid red, which is kinda bugging me. Lastly, I gave the inner eye some black, and I'm going to destroy the hair. You heard me right. That's because it looks better damaged in the movies, and I think that it makes it more realistic that way. I'm just dry brushing some beige in certain areas and all over the head, and we can assemble. The sizes should be accurate since we had the scans, so sometimes you just need to squeeze it in until you are happy with it. Glue the button on, zip tie the hands, tape the eyes on, insert the brows, the mouth, hair, and we are done. A life-size movie-accurate Benson doll from Toy Story 4, articulated mouth, articulated brows, and follow you eyes to fuel your nightmares. I have been wanting a Benson since Christmas of 2021, and this is only possible thanks to Revopoint MIRACO scanner and Phrozen Mega 8K. If you're interested in recreating something you have to make them bigger, these two machines are essential, and you can get them from the links in the description below. Gabby now has her minion, and Woody is going to suffer.